Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Posi-TIPS with Rachelle. Folks, I have missed you, but as you may have noticed, I've been MIA as I was in Louisiana and Oklahoma City for 2.5 weeks, and I don't like to broadcast when I'm leaving or when I'm actually out of town. So that's why there's kind of this fall off in terms of episodes and posts, but I am back in Detroit. Actually brought my little souvenir back, which is a very typical fleur de lis that you will see all around Louisiana, and of course it is in LSU colors, of course, had to be. But folks, I wanted to pick up where I left off on this very important series here on overcoming people pleasing. Huge issue, I would argue, for most people. It was certainly an area that I struggled with most of my life because, as I often state, I am a reformed Southern belle. I went from being a syrupy sweet Southern belle to a no-nonsense Northerner, so I know that positive change is possible. And so, folks, this time I wanted to highlight the importance, the fine art of saying no. And let me start out by just asking you, how hard is it for you to say no? Someone asks you to do something, so a coworker tries to pile additional work on you. You know, your best friend wants to drop her kids off at your house at the last minute. Your best friend wants to come to the gym and he deadlifts 500 pounds, fellas, and he wants you to be able to deadlift 500 pounds in order to compete. So folks, how easy or hard is it for you to tell people no? Because I tell you right now, if you have a problem in this area, and this is something that, again, just as human beings, you know, we want to please people, we don't want to make people mad, but also that fear of disapproval, that fear of rejection, fear of abandonment will keep you trapped in not even just a cycle, but a life of mediocrity, where you're always overcommitted, stressed out, negative, complaining, wishing things were different, but taking absolutely no steps, no positive steps to turn things around. And so folks, I want to challenge you right now, make a decision. Make a decision that the word no is going to be a very common part of your vocabulary. You know, if you're maxed out, if you're stressed out, if you don't have time, if you're overcommitted already, say no. Say no. And recognize that other people or that organization or that company or that group, whatever the case may be, they will live. Life will go on. Will it be easy? Absolutely not. And I'm actually going to wrap up the series next time by highlighting the importance of understanding that when you decide to become a reformed people pleaser, you are going to rock the boat. It's going to change some dynamics that other people are not going to be used to, so you got to be prepared for that. But this time, I just want to keep it simple, folks. No is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. You have a right as a human being to tell someone no. All right, because if you're unhappy, if you have too much on your plate, if you're always stressed out, if you're burned out, folks, you got to take responsibility for what is not working in your life. You got to be able to tell people no. And just the concept, I used to talk about this all the time, just in general conversations with the high school mentality. Remember in high school, everyone was insecure for the most part, and you wanted to fit in, and you wanted to belong and be accepted, and you know, you're willing to do all this crazy stuff in order to be accepted, dress a certain way, talk a certain way, have a certain type of appearance, do different things, be average in school instead of, you know, just a super student, whatever the case may be. All right, that's the high school mentality. Inability to tell people no because you're pathologically insecure and just can't tell anyone no because you're so afraid of what's going to happen. All right, and so folks, no is a complete sentence, folks, but you got to stand up for yourself. You got to be willing to be assertive. You got to have the courage and the confidence to be assertive and let your needs be known. If you don't have time to do something, express that. Say no. And oftentimes you don't even need to give an explanation. No is a complete sentence. But if you so feel compelled, recognize that the heart of the matter is you have a right to have a healthy, balanced life, and don't let anyone, organization, group, or anything take that from you. All right, it's your responsibility to have a healthy, balanced life. And if that's not the case, if that's not true for you right now, folks, it's not anyone else's fault. It's your fault. And that's the bottom line. So you got to think about what fears are driving, because at the heart of every people pleaser is a tremendous battle of fear. What are you afraid of? Is it rejection? Is it abandonment? Is it people talking about you? All right, whatever the case may be, fear of not getting something, a fear of losing something. All right, and many times the fears that we have in life are irrational. They never come to pass. So we can talk ourselves out of situations, or as a people pleaser, talk yourself into a whole lot of situations and nonsense because that fear is driving you. So you got to be assertive and stand up for yourselves. And particularly when it comes to telling people no, particularly when I look back on my own journey, just telling people no was not, Rachelle, I want you to do this. Rachelle, I want you to be on this committee. Rachelle, can you do this? And for me, again, Syrupy Sweet Southern Belle, it was very hard for me to tell people no. All right, and so initially that was when I started shifting my behavior, that was a big challenge for me. And so what I used to do is indirectly, so again, via text message, via email, it was hard for me to just tell someone face to face or on the phone directly, like, no, I'm not doing this, no, don't ask me, no, find someone else. So at the beginning during my own transformation, which I say started around 2005, February 2005, I started doing that indirectly. Now, of course, it's years later, and I have no problem doing it directly. All right, maybe do it with tact, do it with respect, do it with, just compassion and understanding for the other person's plight. But just recognize, again, I recognize that just my own happiness and just a balanced, healthy life is my responsibility, and I can't allow other people to dictate that for me. All right, so it's my responsibility to know what I can handle, what I can't handle, what I have time for, what I don't have time for. What is, particularly for me, something I'm very big is living a life of purpose, a very purpose-driven life. So I have to ask myself, is this in alignment with my purpose? Why am I doing this? Is this some old commitment? Do I need to cut ties? Do I need to cut bait on this? All right, I'm trying to live a purpose-driven life. And so there's a lot of things that I can do and whatever that other people want me to do that I have to say no to because it's not in alignment and I don't have time and it's not going to help me to make a difference in the world in a way in which I've been called to do so. And so folks, recognize, and as I close this episode out, no is a complete sentence. You have a right to say no. You have a right to say no. I don't care who it is or what it is. You have a right to say no, but you've got to exercise it. Overcome those fears. Be courageous. It won't be easy. I can tell you from personal experience, it will not be easy, but it will so be worth it. And so I'm going to close out this series next time, highlighting, as I stated, the importance of recognizing when you change, particularly when you're changing dynamics of relationships and interactions, personal life, professional life, whatever the case may be, you are going to rock the boat. And so you've got to be prepared for that. And I don't want to just tell you to make all these positive changes in your life without providing some balance and helping you to understand and be prepared for the reactions and some of the resistance that you are bound to face. But you can do it, folks. No one ever said living a wonderful, positive, healthy life would be easy, but it is so worth the effort. All right, so until next time, thanks so much for your time. Make it a wonderful day.